Hi guys, it's Nick again from the Bayford Foundation. I hope you're finding our videos useful. This is our third video for our career tips, and this one is on how to structure your CV. So last time we talked about things that should go in your CV, and this time it's just the physical structure of it, so what it looks like on paper. So the first thing you need to look at is your personal details. So again, we talked about this in the last video, but the personal details need to be very, very clear. So name, address, postcode, telephone number and email address. Doesn't really matter what font you do, whether it's to the left hand side or whether it's to the centre, so long as it's neat and tidy. The next section is your personal statement. So in your personal statement, you should have something about your work ethic, your work skills and also your work achievements. So what have you done? Just an overall summary of what you've done and what you've achieved. The next section really needs to be about your work history, okay? Now hopefully by this point you've got some work history, which is fantastic, but again in some of the other videos we've talked about some of the things that might be missing or the fact that you've been doing some experience. So the work history, again it needs to be structured in a particular way. Now it's not important as to how it's structured. What's important is that it's the same and that it's consistent. My personal thoughts on this are that you would put the company name first, then the job title, and then the date of employment, and that's from month and year to month and year. Then below that, you would have a job description, your specific achievements within that role, and then your specific skills learned, okay? Now, as you work down your work history, you need to make sure that it uses the same format for each individual job. And again, if there's gaps, guys, don't lie, just be honest, leave a gap, and then be able to explain that gap. So moving on, the next thing you need to talk about is your qualifications, okay? Now again, qualifications, they need to be either your academic or your non-academic qualifications, and this can include additional languages or computer skills. So if you've been off and you've learned about Microsoft Office or Excel or any of those things, that's fantastic. And again, make sure you put the date of the qualification, that's really important, so employers understand what it is you've been doing in the last few months or the last 3 years. And finally, what we're looking at, again, we discussed this last time, is interests and references. So interests, again, as I said last time, just be careful what you put. It can be interesting and it can be misleading, but be careful. And references, you don't actually have to put your references, but I think it's always nice for you to put that you can get references and they're available upon request, proving that you can actually get them. Guys, the last thing I want to mention really is when it comes to CVs, it just needs to be straightforward and simple. Don't put colours on it, don't change the font size at every verse and chorus, don't put pretty pictures in there. Make sure that it's a reasonable size document so that when it comes through to the employer they can open it. If it's got lots of pictures and lots of colours, the document becomes too large and it becomes difficult to open when it gets to my end. Guys, I hope that's been helpful, and if you've got any questions or you want to have a look at our website or look at the other videos, then please feel free. In the meantime, there's my details. I'm not going to go through them again. If you want to apply for a job, then please feel free to get in touch. Thanks for listening.